How you doing, folks? Devonmoonshire here from ECF, Elixir TV, and Vaporwall. Three main hangout spots I hang out on for vaping-related information. I wanted to do a video today on Genesis-style atomizers versus Fiberwick-style atomizers, such as the Odysseus and the Penelope. I'm going to be using Pluid for my juice comparison today, since it has a lot of intricacies, and anybody who's vaped Pluid knows that it's a virtually impossible juice to try to discern exactly what flavors are in it. It has a base anise type of flavor, but there's a lot of undertones in it. With the Genesis style atomizers, such as the one I have is the Gemini from Vapors. With the Genesis style atomizers, with Pluid in particular, I get a little bit more of the citrusy undertones from the Pluid, as well as a really rich anise flavor from it. With my Odysseus, which is a fiber wick or silica wick designed atomizer, I get more of the anise flavor from it. It doesn't have quite as many of the undertones with it. With Genesis style atomizers, you've got one piece of wire that you use to make your coil. For me, I use 32 AWG Canthal wire because it gives me a high enough resistance to use on my Provari. With the Odysseus and the Penelope style atomizers, you have to use a resistance wire and two pieces of non-resistance wire. With the Genesis style atomizers, you're using a stainless steel mesh type wick. You can use silica as well, and I've done this with great success, but it was initially designed to use stainless steel mesh as your wick. So that's what I've been using. Now, setup and breakdown, I'm not going to go through and do an entire setup and breakdown of the atomizers because this is not a tutorial on that type of thing, and there's plenty of tutorials that have been done on them. With the Genesis style atomizers, everything is accessible through the top cap. Your entire atomizer assembly is in the top of the device. If you want to take a look at it, you can open up the top cap, hit your coil, produce some vapor, take a look, make sure everything's running correctly. With the Odysseus and Penelope, if you want to take a look at your coil, you have to pretty much take it apart and empty your tank to take a look at your coil. For some people, that's a drawback. For me, not a big deal. I usually vape it empty, and then I open it up and take a look at everything, make sure everything's still running properly, put it back together and refill it. It's very simple. Take off your top cap, take off your tank, separate the tank from the base. There you go. You've exposed your coil, and you can take a look at it, dry burn it if it needs it, degunk it, hit it with a toothbrush, whatever your preferred cleaning method is. With the Genesis style atomizer, the way I have my wick set up, if I want to dry burn the coil, all I have to do is grab a hold of my wick, pull it out. No problem. Pull it out, dry burn the coil. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Show you how easy this is. Boom, done. Wick's gone. Dry burn the coil. Lights up pretty. Dry burned and cleaned. Run it right back down in through the coils. Right back down in there. Back to full working order. Not a problem. Very simple, very easy. Now, with the Odysseus style atomizers, can't really take the wick out of it because it is a fiber wick, and it will come apart if you try to remove the wick from the coil. Excuse me. For some people, this can be a problem. For me, it's not really a problem because if you dry burn an Odysseus coil properly, it not only cleans the wick, it also cleans the coils, and you come up with a crisp, clean flavor every time. Another difference that I've noticed between the Genesis style atomizers and the Silica wick style atomizers is the taste. With Silica, you're going to get a little bit of a silica wick taste from your juice. For me, that only lasts for a couple of days at the most. One way I found to get rid of it a lot sooner, usually within about 30 minutes of starting off with a fresh wick, is to take my butane torch and hit the wick itself before I ever even wrap a coil or even cut the wick. Superheating it seems to eliminate most of the flavors that come out of the silica, so it's no longer a problem. I get a pure, clean tasting juice. Now with the stainless steel variety, another benefit that I found to it, I would call it a benefit, is when you vape your tank dry, because as you can tell, it's a stainless steel tank. Some of them come with the glass or Pyrex tanks or the polycarbonate tanks. You can see your juice level. With mine, it's a stainless steel tank. You can't see your juice level. One of the benefits I found to the Genesis style is that when you get a dry vape, because your tank's empty, it's not quite as harsh as with the Silica wicks. Silica wicks, when you get a dry hit, it's pretty nasty. It's nasty with the stainless steel mesh, just not quite as harsh on the back of the throat. So this is another benefit to the Genesis style. With the Odysseus and the Silica wick style atomizers, the wick itself is, for me, much easier to assemble. With the Odysseus, you do have to use two wires, two pieces of non-resistance wire, one piece of resistance wire. This can be a pain in the butt sometimes if both of your wires are the same size. I use 32 gauge A1 Canthal, and I use 32 gauge pure nickel non-resistance wire. Now, when I cut the non-resistance wire, I set it off to the right or left, and when I cut the resistance wire, I set it off to the other side. That way I don't get them mixed up, because if you mix them up, your coil's not going to work. If you end up with a piece of non-resistance wire in the center of your coil, not going to work. With the Genesis style atomizers, you're only using one piece of wire, a single piece of resistance wire. Now, a lot of people they swear by 28 AWG, some people swear by 30, some people swear by 32, 34, 36. To me, that's a moot point. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever gives you the flavor you're looking for, gives you the vape that you're looking for. That's the most important thing, in my opinion. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that this video will do, is give you just some of the highs and lows of both different types of atomizers. They're both amazing. They both create a huge amount of vapor. Odysseus. Penelope. And Gemini. They all three create amazing vapor, amazing flavor, and great throat hit. So as far as performance wise, they're all pretty comparable. A lot of, I think, what is going to get most people is the taste, which does seem to be a little bit cleaner with the Genesis style atomizers, and the ease of setup. They both have complications with their setups. With the Genesis, you have to worry about hot spots on your wick and working those out, working the kinks out of those. Once you get it down, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to figure out where you know you're going to have them, and you can fix them before you even have a problem with them. With the Odysseus and the Penelope, you have your resistance wires and your non-resistance wires, and getting them to connect properly to create a good even coil. It can be a pain in the butt, but also at the same time, once you get it down, it's like riding a bicycle. You jump right back on it and you can recreate how you did it the first time when you got it to work. I really hope that this video can help somebody make a decision on whether, if they're on the fence as to which kind of rebuildable atomizer they want to use. And there's a lot of them out there. You've got your Genesis group, you've got your Bliss, you've got your Cobra, you've got your Chinese knockoffs of all of these, you've got your Chobra, you've got your Chids. There's a lot of them out there. If you want to start, just give it a try. Buy yourself a cheap Chinese knockoff and give it a try. They work pretty well. I've had a Chinese DID clone, mini DID clone. I've had an AGA, and they both worked excellent. I now have the real DID, Gemini, and a real mini DID, and I have the Odysseus and the Penelope. They are all very excellent devices. The most important device in the world, though, is the one that keeps you from smoking cigarettes. Always remember that. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be the top of the line. It doesn't have to be the newest thing. The only thing it has to do is keep you from grabbing a Marlboro or a Pall Mall or whatever brand you smoke and lighting it. That is the most important device in the world. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on any one of the forums that I'm on or on Elixir. And have a great evening, a great day, wherever you happen to be in the world. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video.